Arguing holds you back. Discover the power of peaceful progress. Welcome to Live Stoic, Live Strong. Have you ever stood in the heat of a fierce argument, words flying like sparks, only to feel a hollow ache when it's over? What if the real victory isn't in outshouting your opponent, but in holding something far more powerful? And what if that power, silent, unshakable, magnetic, could redefine how you navigate every conflict? Welcome to a truth that will shift your perspective forever. Picture this. You're locked in a heated debate, your heart pounding, your voice sharp with conviction. You're fighting to prove your point, to make them see. But as the words clash, something slips away. Your calm, your clarity, your inner strength. You're not just defending an idea. You're unraveling pieces of yourself. Your ego flares, your emotions surge, and that need to be right, it's draining you dry. In that moment, you're not winning. You're losing peace, focus, and sometimes even your dignity. But what if there's another way? What if, instead of diving into the chaos of words, you wielded something stronger, something ancient? Silence. Not the silence of surrender, but the silence of power. Imagine stepping back, your lips still, your gaze steady, while the storm of words swirls around you. In that quiet, you're not retreating, you're commanding the moment. You're choosing to protect your energy, to guard your peace, and to let the world wonder what lies behind your unshaken calm. Arguments, we're told, are battles of logic, where the sharpest mind prevails. But let's be honest, how often does logic truly win? The other person doesn't budge, and neither do you. All that's left is wasted energy, frayed nerves, and a lingering frustration that clings like damp fog. Why pour your strength into a fight that yields nothing but exhaustion? Why let your opponent see your vulnerabilities, your need for validation, when you could stand tall in silence instead? Think of the greats, Machiavelli, with his cunning strategies, or Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor who faced empires with a steady heart. They knew a secret. The most powerful person in any room isn't the loudest. It's the one who says the least. Silence isn't empty. It's a canvas of authority, painted with confidence and control. It's the art of steering the narrative without uttering a single word. By refusing to engage in every verbal spar, you keep your dignity intact, your mind clear, and your strength untouchable. Your opponent is left guessing, grasping at shadows, unable to sway or provoke you. So the next time you feel the pull of an argument, pause. Ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Is proving my point worth the energy I'll lose, the calm I'll sacrifice? Or can I choose silence, bold, deliberate, commanding, and let it speak louder than any words could? The choice is yours, and it's more powerful than you might think. Let's dive deeper. Chapter 1. The hidden weakness in arguments. Picture yourself mid-argument, your pulse racing, words spilling out faster than you can control. You might land a clever point, maybe even feel a fleeting thrill of victory. But when the dust settles, what's left? A nagging emptiness, a sense that you've given away more than you've gained. You've exposed your ego, your vulnerabilities, your desperate need to be right. And in that exposure, your power fades. Every argument reveals a weakness, not your opponent's, but yours. When you argue, you lower your guard, letting emotions take the reins. The truth you started defending becomes secondary to the urge to win. In that moment, you're not fighting for principle, you're fighting for validation. And that's where your strength slips away, leaving you less grounded, less in control, less you. As we uncovered on page 1, silence isn't just a pause, it's a shield, a quiet force that preserves your strength. But why do arguments pull us in so fiercely, tempting us to abandon that power? Let's unravel the hidden trap that lies within every heated exchange. Imagine you're in the thick of a debate, words slicing through the air like blades. Why are you fighting so hard? Is it truly to change their mind? To illuminate the truth? Or is something deeper at play? Something tied to the core of who you are? Arguments aren't just clashes of logic. They're battlegrounds of ego. When you argue, you hoist your pride to the center stage, defending not just your point but your very identity. Each word you hurl is a plea. See me, hear me, validate me. But the more you cling to that fragile ego, the more you expose your vulnerabilities, like a castle gate left ajar. In those moments, emotions surge like a rising tide, sweeping logic aside. You're no longer solving a problem. You're locked in a struggle to protect your pride. Your heart races, your voice sharpens, and suddenly, it's not about the issue anymore. It's about being right, being seen, being the one who comes out on top. But here's the truth. That fight reveals a weakness, not in your opponent, but in you. Your strength isn't measured by your clever retorts or airtight reasoning. It's tied to how much you crave that fleeting nod of approval, that momentary crown of victory. And what does winning an argument even feel like? A fleeting rush, perhaps, as you land the final blow. But as the dust settles, a bitter aftertaste lingers. The tension remains, heavy as a storm cloud. The other person walks away, still clutching their beliefs, unmoved by your brilliance. You've spun in a circle, expending energy, emotions, and peace. For what? A hollow triumph that leaves you drained, not uplifted. You've traded your calm for a prize that slips through your fingers like sand. Worse still, you've given away your power. Every argument is a stage where you reveal too much. Your need for validation, your struggle to control how others see you. You hand your opponent the keys to your composure, letting them pull you into a dance of chaos. And deep down, you feel it. The nagging realization that your worth is tangled in their acknowledgement. Why let your strength hinge on someone else's nod? Why let your peace unravel for a battle that changes nothing? Now, picture a different path. What if you stepped back, refusing to play the ego's game? What if, instead of arguing, you chose silence, not out of defeat, but out of mastery? By letting go of the need to defend yourself, you reclaim your power. You stand tall, unshaken, while others exhaust themselves in the fray. Silence isn't just restraint. It's a quiet rebellion against the cycle of validation. It's the strength to let others speak, to let their words echo into the void, without diminishing your worth. In that stillness, you protect your inner peace, like a flame shielded from the wind. You embody a confidence that doesn't need to shout to be felt. The ability to hold your ground without a single word is where true power lies. A power that leaves others wondering, searching, unable to unsettle you. So, the next time you feel the spark of an argument, ask yourself, do I need to fight to prove my worth? Or can I let silence speak my strength? As we turn to the next page, we'll explore how to wield this silent power in practical ways, transforming not just how you face conflict, but how the world perceives your unshakable presence. We uncovered how arguments ensnare your ego, draining your power in a futile chase for validation. But what if you could sidestep that trap entirely, wielding a force so potent it reshapes every conflict? Let's explore the unmatched strength of silence. Imagine standing in the eye of a storm, words and emotions swirling around you, yet you remain still, untouched. In that moment, you're not just avoiding chaos, you're commanding it. Silence isn't surrender, It's a choice, a strategic weapon that radiates authority without a single word. By refusing to argue, you shield yourself from the emotional turbulence that disputes ignite. You preserve your energy for what truly matters: your growth, your happiness, your unshakable sense of purpose. Why waste your strength on fleeting battles when you already know your worth? Picture the scene. Someone challenges you, their voice sharp, their words baiting you to react. The urge to fire back surges like a wildfire, but instead, you pause, you breathe, you choose silence. In that quiet, you're not retreating, you're rising. You're declaring, without a sound, that your peace is non-negotiable, that your strength doesn't need validation from anyone else. Have you ever noticed how silence unnerves people? It forces them to face their own words, their own doubts, their own need to provoke. And in that space, you hold the upper hand. This is the power of silence, not an absence, but a presence. It's the tool of the Stoic, the strategist, the one who sees beyond the noise. Silence doesn't shout, yet it echoes louder than any argument could. In a world where everyone is clamoring to be heard, where opinions clash like swords and egos parade in endless circles, your silence stands apart. It's a beacon of self-control, a refusal to be pulled into the chaos. People notice. They may not grasp it at first, but they feel it, the weight of your calm, the mystery of your restraint. They wonder, why aren't they reacting? What gives them such unshakable strength? Silence is your shield, not a sign of weakness. Think about the energy an argument demands, the back and forth, the mental strain of crafting the perfect retort, the tension that coils tighter with every word. It's a vortex that leaves you and your opponent exhausted, frustrated, and no closer to resolution. Why pour your vitality into that cycle? Why let someone else's drama dictate your peace? When you choose silence, you step out of their game. You preserve your clarity, your composure, your power. You become untouchable, a figure of quiet authority that others can't help but respect. So the next time you feel that familiar spark of conflict, stop. Ask yourself, what am I really fighting for? Is this worth my peace, my energy, my focus? Or can you wield silence instead, letting your actions speak louder than words ever could? The true victory lies not in out-talking your opponent, but in rising above the need to prove yourself. Silence is your weapon, sharp, deliberate, and devastatingly effective. As we move to the next page, we'll uncover how to harness this silent strength in everyday moments, turning it into a habit that not only protects your peace, but transforms how the world sees you. We discovered how silence transforms you into a beacon of strength, untouched by the chaos of conflict. But how does this quiet power reshape your inner world and give you the upper hand? Let's dive into the art of mastering silence and uncover its profound rewards. Picture yourself in the midst of a heated moment, words flying like arrows, emotions crackling in the air. The instinct to jump in, to counter, to prove your point burns fiercely. But instead, you choose silence. You stand as the calm at the heart of the storm, unshaken while others exhaust themselves in the whirlwind. In that choice, you conserve your energy, letting your opponent pour theirs into the void. You become the still point, the unshakable anchor, radiating a quiet control that no outburst could match. Have you ever considered how much power lies in simply refusing to be provoked? Silence isn't just a shield, it's a sanctuary. When you hold your tongue, you deny others the chance to pull you into their chaos. You stay grounded, rooted in the truth of who you are, secure in what you stand for. The more you practice this, the stronger you grow. Conflict no longer overwhelms you. Your composure becomes a fortress. In the space of silence, your thoughts crystallize, clear and sharp. You reflect, you strategize, you choose your next move with precision. Why let someone else's words dictate your rhythm when you can set the tempo yourself? But silence offers more than clarity. It grants insight. Think back to a time when you resisted the urge to respond, letting the other person's words spill unchecked. In those moments, you saw more than you realized. Their frustrations, their fears, their deepest drives, all laid bare before you. Your silence becomes a mirror, reflecting their insecurities and desires back at them. While they're caught in their own emotional tempest, you observe, you understand, and you gain a wisdom that words could never unlock. Isn't it remarkable how much you learn when you choose to listen instead of speak? This is the essence of silence, not just the absence of words, but the presence of mastery. It's about carving out a space within yourself where you respond, not react. It's about tuning into your own thoughts and feelings, learning to guide them with intention. Choosing silence isn't easy. It's a discipline, a test of will. The world demands you shout, defend, prove yourself. Yet, in that quiet defiance, you discover a strength that's unshakable. You control your emotions, your actions, and even how others perceive you. And the beauty of it? You don't need to explain it. Your silence speaks volumes, projecting a confidence that words could never rival. So, the next time you're pulled toward an argument, pause, take a breath. Ask yourself, do I need to speak to prove my strength, or can my silence say it all? Your silence is your greatest weapon, a tool that guards your peace, sharpens your clarity, and empowers you to act with wisdom, not impulse. Wield it, and you'll find yourself not just surviving conflict, but thriving in it. We uncovered how silence grants you mastery over conflict, a quiet strength that keeps you in control. But what if you could amplify that power by defying expectations altogether? Let's explore the magnetic force of unpredictability and how it sets you free. Imagine being the enigma in the room, the one who keeps others guessing, not through deception, but by staying fiercely true to your own path. Unpredictability isn't chaos. It's a silent rebellion, a refusal to be caged by the scripts others write for you. It's the spark that shifts the game in your favor, keeping you one step ahead while the world scrambles to catch up. This is your chance to break free from the chains of routine, to craft a life that pulses with your essence, not the roles others demand you play. Can you feel the thrill of that freedom? Think back to a moment when you surprised everyone. Maybe you stayed calm when they expected a fiery retort, or you chose a path so unexpected it left them speechless. In that instant, didn't you feel a surge of power? You weren't just defying their assumptions. You were rewriting the rules. Unpredictability is that untethered feeling, the rush of knowing no one can pin you down. While others are trapped, shackled by the need to conform, to be predictable, to fit neatly into boxes, you soar above it all. You challenge their certainties, forcing them to pause, to rethink, to question their own moves. And in that uncertainty, you hold the reins. This isn't about reckless rebellion or throwing caution to the wind. It's about honoring your inner compass, even when it leads you down paths others can't fathom. It's about choosing what feels right for you, not what's expected. When you act unpredictably, you step out of the suffocating loop of routine and expectation. You're no longer a puppet dancing to the world's demands, how to speak, how to react, how to asterisk be. Instead, you become the architect of your own reality, setting the terms for your life. Isn't that what true liberation feels like? Unpredictability is also a guardian of your peace. The less you bend to others' expectations, the lighter you feel. The weight of their judgments, their need to define you, slips away. You stop fretting over how you're perceived because your actions flow from a place of authenticity. There's a quiet serenity in that, a deep, unshakable peace that comes from knowing you're free. Free to express your truth, free to move through the world on your terms, free to be unapologetically you. So the next time you feel the pressure to conform, to follow the predictable path, pause. Ask yourself, do I need to meet their expectations, or can I chart my own course? Embrace your unpredictability. Let it be your shield, your spark, your declaration of freedom. By refusing to be boxed in, you protect your peace and wield a power that others can only marvel at. As we move to the next page, we'll uncover how to weave this unpredictable strength into your daily life, turning it into a habit that not only empowers you, but reshapes how the world responds to your presence. We explored how silence becomes a sanctuary, preserving your peace and amplifying your strength. But what happens when you pair that quiet power with a force that breaks the mold entirely? Let's dive into the transformative magic of unpredictability and how it fuels your growth. Have you ever felt like you're sleepwalking through life, trapped in the same routines, the same predictable patterns? The weight of others' expectations presses down, urging you to stay in line, to follow the script. But unpredictability is your escape, a vibrant spark that shatters the monotony and sets you free. It's not about chaos, it's about daring to step outside the box, to challenge the habits that no longer serve you. Imagine the possibilities when you embrace the unknown. What could unfold if you took a different path, tried something bold, or simply said yes to a new adventure? Picture this. One morning, you skip your usual routine. Instead of the same commute, you take a winding route, noticing the world with fresh eyes. Or you start your day with a new ritual, something that stirs your soul. These small acts of unpredictability aren't just changes. They're catalysts. They shift your mindset, crack open doors to new opportunities, and remind you that you're not bound by yesterday's choices. Each step into the unfamiliar is a brushstroke, painting a life that reflects your true essence, not the version others expect you to play. Isn't it exhilarating to think you can reinvent yourself at any moment? Unpredictability doesn't just spark growth, it makes you a force to be reckoned with. When you live outside the usual rules, others take notice. They see you as someone untamed, someone who moves with intention yet defies their predictions. You're not louder or more aggressive. You're simply unstoppable, wielding the power of choice. At any moment, you can pivot, shift, evolve, and that makes you untouchable in a world obsessed with routine. Your unpredictability commands respect, not because you demand it, but because it radiates from your refusal to be confined. Thank you for staying with Live Stoic, Live Strong. It means you're seeking more than words. We're here for that journey with you. This is your chance to craft a life that's uniquely yours, unbound by the chains of expectation. When you act unpredictably, you move with awareness, guided by your inner compass, not the narrow paths others lay out. You become a creator, not a follower, shaping a reality that pulses with your truth. And with every unexpected choice, you protect your peace. The less you conform, the less you carry the stress of pleasing others. There's a quiet freedom in knowing your actions align with your soul, unshackled from the need to fit in. So pause and ask yourself, what would happen if I leaned into the unknown? What new paths could I forge if I let go of the familiar? Marcus Your unpredictability is your strength, a tool that keeps you growing, keeps you free, and keeps you ahead of the curve. All it takes is the courage to embrace the unexpected and let it guide you toward who you're meant to be. As we turn to the next page, we'll confront the hidden cost of arguments, revealing why stepping away from conflict isn't just a choice. It's a powerful act of self-preservation that restores your emotional balance. We embraced unpredictability as a catalyst for growth, freeing us from the chains of routine and expectation. But what happens when we let arguments pull us back into conflict, draining the very energy that fuels our freedom? Let's uncover the hidden emotional cost of arguing and how to break free. Picture yourself in the heat of an argument, your voice sharp, your heart racing, driven by an almost primal need to be right. You're fighting to defend your point, to prove your worth, as if your identity hangs in the balance. You may land the winning blow, basking in a fleeting moment of triumph. But as the adrenaline fades, what's left? A hollow ache, a lingering heaviness that clings like damp fog. The thrill of victory evaporates, overshadowed by emotional exhaustion, a sense of being misunderstood, and the draining need to justify yourself. It's like running a race with no finish line, each step stealing more of your peace. Every argument you engage in takes something precious from you: your energy, your calm, your emotional balance. In the moment, it feels like a small price to pay for being right. But over time, the toll compounds, like cracks spreading through a once sturdy foundation. The bitterness, the frustration, the unresolved tension, they don't just vanish when the words stop. They linger, eroding your sense of self, dimming your inner light. Have you ever noticed how arguments ripple beyond the moment, straining the bonds you hold dear? Think about your relationships. A simple disagreement sparks, and before you know it, it's a wildfire, burning bridges you never meant to cross. Harsh words, once spoken, hang in the air, impossible to retract. They leave an emotional residue, a silent wedge between you and the other person. What started as a clash of ideas becomes a chasm, pushing you further apart. You might think proving your point will draw you closer, but the truth is crueler. Arguments build walls, not bridges. They leave both sides wounded, disconnected, nursing hurts that outlast the fight itself. Why sacrifice connection for the fleeting crown of being right? The emotional cost of arguing isn't just measured in hurt feelings, it's counted in lost relationships, in moments of closeness you'll never reclaim. When you prioritize winning over understanding, you lose sight of what truly matters: the people in your life. But here's the empowering truth. You have the power to rewrite this story. You don't have to stay trapped in the cycle of conflict, drained by the need to prove yourself. There's another path, one where peace, understanding, and connection take center stage. This doesn't mean silencing your voice or dodging tough conversations. It means recognizing when an argument no longer serves you or those you care about. It means pausing, breathing, and asking, is this fight worth my peace? Will it strengthen my bonds or tear them apart? Instead of battling to be heard, you can create space for listening. Instead of defending your pride at all costs, you can open your heart to understanding. When you choose this path, you lift the weight of conflict from your shoulders. You reclaim your energy, your serenity, and your ability to connect deeply with others. So the next time you feel the pull of an argument, stop. Reflect. Choose peace over pride, connection over conquest. In that choice lies your true strength, a strength that heals, restores, and sets you free. As we move to the next page, We'll explore how to cultivate this strength in practical ways, turning the choice for peace into a habit that transforms not just your conflicts, but your entire life. We uncovered the emotional toll of arguments, revealing how they drain your peace and strain your connections. But what if you could rise above that cycle, choosing a path that not only protects your heart, but redefines victory itself? Let's explore the profound strength of choosing peace and the silent power that wins without words. Every argument presents a choice, a fork in the road where your heart whispers, will you fight for pride, or will you embrace peace? The urge to dive in, to prove yourself, to claim victory with sharp words, is almost irresistible. But in that fleeting rush of being right, what do you lose? Your calm, your clarity, your emotional balance, all sacrificed on the altar of ego. True strength isn't found in outshouting your opponent. It's in the quiet courage to step back, to disengage, to protect the sanctuary of your inner peace. Imagine the freedom of knowing your worth doesn't depend on winning a verbal duel. Picture a moment of tension. Someone challenges you, their words like sparks, daring you to ignite. Your instinct screams to fire back, to defend your ground. But what if you pause instead? What if you ask yourself, is this argument worth my peace? Will it strengthen my connections or steal my energy? More often than not, the answer is a quiet, "Tumanwer." In that moment, letting go becomes your superpower. By choosing peace, you free yourself from the weight of conflict, opening space for deeper, more authentic relationships, connections that nourish your soul and spark growth. This choice isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's the realization that your emotional well-being is worth more than any fleeting triumph. Now let's dive deeper into Chapter 5, Winning Without Words. Have you ever faced a provocation and felt the power of staying silent? Someone pushes, prods, tries to pull you into their chaos, and you stand still, unshaken. In that silence, you're not surrendering, you're claiming victory. Not with words, but with a quiet strength that cuts through the noise like a blade through fog. The world tells us victory belongs to the loudest voice, the sharpest argument. But there's a deeper win, one that needs no words at all. Silence isn't passive, it's a force. In a world obsessed with being heard, where everyone clamors to dominate the conversation, silence is revolutionary. It's the quiet confidence of standing firm. Knowing your peace is more precious than any verbal spar. When you choose silence, you're saying, I don't need to prove myself. My stability speaks for itself. This isn't retreat, it's rising above. Your silence carries a weight that words can't match, inviting reflection, disarming provocation, and leaving others with nothing to fight against. Have you ever noticed how silence unnerves people, forcing them to confront their own words in the stillness? Words in an argument are like kindling, fueling tension, escalating hurt, prolonging division. But silence? Silence is a balm. It creates space for the other person to pause, to reconsider, to question their own heat. It shows them their attempts to drag you into conflict are futile because you refuse to be swayed. That, my friend, is a victory. Not one that wounds, but one that heals. And it stems from emotional maturity, the strength to sit in discomfort without filling the void with words. Choosing silence means choosing to honor your well-being, refusing to let someone else's chaos dictate your mood or energy. This choice doesn't mean you care less. It means you care more about peace, about respect, about clarity. Silence isn't giving up. It's giving space for something greater. It's showing the world that your emotional health, your relationships, your inner calm matter more than being right. So the next time you're tempted to argue, take a breath. Step back. Let silence be your weapon, your shield, your strength. In that choice, you win, not by defeating another, but by preserving the best parts of yourself. As we turn to the next page, we'll uncover how to make this choice for peace a daily practice, weaving silence and emotional strength into the fabric of your life to create lasting change. We embraced the quiet strength of choosing peace over pride, discovering how silence can be a victory that preserves your soul. But how does this choice reshape the dynamics of conflict and unlock a deeper power within you? Let's explore the magnetic force of silence and the art of restraint that transforms every moment. In the heat of a disagreement, when words fly like arrows and emotions flare, your greatest strength lies not in outwitting your opponent, but in refusing to fight battles that serve no purpose. By choosing silence, you protect your energy, your sense of self, your inner light. This isn't about dodging conflict. It's about mastering it. Imagine standing in the eye of a storm, where hostility swirls and tension crackles. Instead of leaping into the fray, you take a breath. You let silence fill the space, a quiet force that disarms anger and shifts the focus back to what truly matters: your peace. Have you ever felt the shift when silence enters a room, calming the chaos like a gentle tide? This conscious silence is a game changer. It doesn't just reduce tension, it redefines the moment. The other person, expecting a clash, finds their words met with stillness. They pause, they falter, they reflect. And within you, a transformation unfolds. A wave of calm washes over you, a clarity that no argument could ever spark. You're not just controlling the conversation, you're mastering your response to it. In that quiet strength, you claim a victory far greater than words could offer. You're saying, I choose my peace over this chaos, my power over this noise. Isn't it liberating to know you hold that choice? This power is yours alone. Every moment of conflict offers a crossroads. Engage in the verbal sparring or rise above it. By choosing silence, you shield your emotional well-being, preserving the energy that fuels your growth. This isn't surrender, it's sovereignty. You're declaring that no provocation, no challenge can shake your core. And in that choice, you uncover a deeper triumph, one that doesn't need applause or validation. It's the victory of standing firm, of knowing your worth doesn't hinge on being right. It's the courage to let silence speak, loud and unshakable, in the face of conflict. Now let's delve into the Stoic practice of restraint. Life is a whirlwind of choices, each one shaping who you become. The world pushes you to react, to spill every emotion, to answer every slight with fire. But what if the greatest power lies in holding back? The Stoics, those ancient masters of wisdom, knew this secret. True strength isn't in giving in to every impulse. It's in the deliberate choice to pause, to weigh, to decide what you let define you. Restraint isn't suppression, it's empowerment. It's the art of standing in the heat of the moment and choosing calm over chaos, wisdom over reflex. Restraint doesn't mean burying your feelings or pretending they don't exist. It's about recognizing the spark within you, the power to choose how you respond, not just react. When every instinct screams to lash out, to defend, to prove, restraint is the quiet voice that says, I am more than this moment. It's the strength to hold your ground without a word, to let the world's noise fade while you remain steady. This practice, this art of holding back, can transform your life, turning fleeting conflicts into opportunities for growth and clarity. So, the next time you're pulled toward an argument, pause. Feel the power of silence, the strength of restraint. Ask yourself, do I need to speak, or can my stillness say it all? In that choice, you'll find a victory that endures, a victory that protects your peace and elevates your presence. As we move to the next page, we'll explore how to weave this practice of restraint into your daily life, turning it into a habit that not only shields your peace, but reshapes how you navigate the world. We uncovered how silence and restraint transform conflict, empowering you to protect your peace with quiet strength. But how does this practice of restraint become a cornerstone of your inner power, shaping not just your actions but your entire life? Let's dive into the Stoic art of restraint and its profound rewards. Every time you choose restraint, you forge a stronger version of yourself, like a blade tempered in fire. You're declaring that your emotions don't hold the reins. You do. In the heat of a moment, when anger or frustration surges like a tidal wave, restraint is the anchor that keeps you steady. It's the conscious choice to respond, not react, to act from wisdom rather than fleeting impulse. Imagine standing at a crossroads, the world urging you to lash out, to prove your point. Instead, you pause, you breathe, and you choose a path aligned with what truly matters: your peace, your values, your purpose. Isn't that the ultimate act of strength? The difference between reacting and responding is subtle but seismic. A reaction is a reflex, a spark ignited by the moment's heat, driven by raw emotion. It's letting the world dictate your actions, pulling you into chaos you might later regret. But a response? That's power. It's stepping back, creating a space of stillness where clarity blooms. In that pause, you reflect. What serves my peace? What aligns with my truth? The Stoic practice of restraint teaches you to master this distinction. It's a quiet rebellion against the urge to give in to anger, impatience, or the need to be right. You choose calm over chaos, purpose over impulse. And in that choice, you find your true power. This inner strength is silent but unshakable. We often think of strength as loud, bold words, decisive actions, victorious arguments. But true strength whispers. It's the courage to hold back when every instinct screams, to speak, to argue, to defend. Restraint is the mark of emotional maturity, the ability to stay grounded when the world around you spirals into disarray. It's standing tall amidst the storm, your heart steady, your mind clear, knowing you don't need to prove yourself to anyone. Have you ever felt the quiet power of staying calm while others unravel? The rewards of restraint are boundless. Each time you practice it, you carve out a sanctuary of peace within yourself. You gain the freedom to choose how you engage with the world, untouched by the chaos that seeks to pull you off course. Restraint isn't about suppressing emotions. It's about understanding them. You learn to see your triggers, to feel your anger or frustration without letting it steer you. Over time, this deepens your self-awareness, sharpens your character, and transforms how you see the world. Life becomes clearer, viewed through a lens of calm and control, because you know you hold the power to choose. Emotions are part of being human, vibrant threads in the tapestry of life. but when they rule you, they can lead to choices that dim your light. Restraint is the art of mastering them, not being mastered. It's the realization that you don't have to act on every feeling, that you can feel deeply yet choose wisely. This is your power, to navigate life with intention, to let your responses reflect your strength, not your impulses. So the next time you feel the pull of emotion, pause. Ask yourself, will I react to this moment, or will I respond with the wisdom of restraint? In that choice lies a strength that reshapes your life, a strength that grows with every step you take toward peace and clarity. As we turn to the next page, we'll explore how to make this practice of restraint a daily habit, weaving it into your life to create a legacy of calm, strength, and unshakable presence. We uncovered how restraint transforms you into the master of your emotions, choosing responses that reflect your deepest values. But how does this practice become a gateway to true freedom, reshaping not just moments of conflict, but your entire way of living? Let's explore the liberating power of restraint and its promise of peace. Imagine sitting with a storm of emotions, anger, frustration, the urge to speak out, swirling within you like a restless sea. Restraint is the art of observing those waves, feeling their pull, yet choosing a response that anchors you to your truth. The Stoics taught that happiness isn't shaped by what happens to us, but by how we choose to meet it. When you practice restraint, you claim that power. You grant yourself emotional freedom, the freedom to feel deeply without being ruled by those feelings, the strength to let go of battles that don't serve you. Isn't it remarkable to think you can navigate life's challenges with such clarity? Restraint isn't just about holding back, it's about knowing when to release. Picture yourself in a heated moment, the instinct to argue or prove yourself burning bright. But instead of clinging to the need to be right, you let go. You release the urge to control the outcome, to have the last word, to bend others to your will. This isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's recognizing that some fights are worth your energy, while others are mere distractions. By focusing on what you can control, your reactions, your peace, you unlock a profound strength. Have you ever felt the weight lift when you choose to walk away from a pointless battle? This act of letting go is your path to freedom. Each time you practice restraint, you break free from the chains of impulse and emotion, reclaiming mastery over your thoughts and actions. You become the architect of your inner world, unshaken by the chaos outside. This practice isn't easy. It demands patience, self-awareness, and a quiet courage to sit with discomfort. Yet, with every moment you choose restraint, it becomes more than a tool. It becomes a way of life, a way to move through the world with purpose, clarity, and an unshakable sense of peace. Can you imagine the serenity of living so aligned with your true self? In the end, restraint is empowerment, not denial. It's about choosing to act, speak, and respond from a place of inner strength, where every choice reflects who you are at your core. It's the ultimate freedom, to live authentically, unbound by the pressures of the moment. As we reach the conclusion, embrace the power of restraint. Remember that this practice is a transformative journey. Each time you choose restraint, you step closer to mastering your emotions, your mind, your life. The path isn't without challenge. It requires the courage to pause, to reflect, to rise above the urge to react. But the rewards are boundless. A life of purpose, peace, and true freedom. I challenge you, starting today, to notice those moments when impulse tugs at you. When the world pushes you to react, take a breath. Step back. Ask yourself, what response serves my peace? What choice reflects my strength? Don't just hold back. Choose deliberately. Find the power within you to rise above the noise, to act with clarity, to live with intention. In those moments, you'll discover a freedom that no argument could ever offer. As we move to the next page, we'll explore how to sustain this practice of restraint, building habits that anchor your peace and empower you to face any challenge with unwavering strength. We embraced restraint as a path to freedom, a practice that empowers you to master your emotions and live with intention. But how does this choice ripple through your life, shaping your future with every deliberate step? Let's explore how the quiet power of restraint transforms not just moments, but your entire journey. Imagine each moment you choose restraint as a single brushstroke, painting a life vibrant with purpose and peace. The changes may not be instant. There's no dramatic fanfare, no immediate spotlight. Yet, with every pause, every breath, every decision to respond rather than react, you're crafting something profound. You're not just building self-control. You're sculpting a life that reflects your deepest values. A life where your actions align with the person you aspire to be. Can you feel the quiet strength growing within you, like a tree taking root, steady and unyielding? Each time you practice restraint, you lay another stone in the foundation of a life grounded in clarity. It's in the small moments, choosing silence over a sharp retort, letting go of the need to be right, that you redefine your relationships, your decisions, your path forward. These choices weave together, forming a tapestry of peace that shields you from the chaos of impulse and conflict. You're not just avoiding arguments, you're creating space for connection, for growth, for a deeper understanding of yourself and those around you. Isn't it remarkable how a single choice can echo so far? This power lies within you, a spark waiting to ignite. You hold the key to your own peace, and it all begins with the courage to practice restraint. It's a commitment to honor your inner strength, to let it guide your words, your actions, your life. So take this lesson to heart. Let it be the compass that steers your decisions, the gentle hand that nurtures your relationships, the light that illuminates your journey. Every moment you choose restraint, you're not just surviving, you're thriving, building a life that radiates purpose and calm. I invite you to carry this practice forward, to make it your own. Share your story with me, your challenges, your triumphs, the moments when restraint transformed a fleeting conflict into a lasting victory. How are you embracing this power in your daily life? Your experiences are part of this journey, a testament to the strength you're cultivating. Stay grounded, stay resolute, and keep moving forward with unwavering purpose, knowing that every step you take is a step toward a life of true peace. Thank you for your time. If one idea touched you today, come back next time. It may reach deeper. Share this with someone who needs a quiet moment. See you in the next video.